In 1959, James Carter and his parents emigrated from their native Glasgow, Scotland, to settle on a dairy farm on Prince Edward Island.
Growing up on a farm, I always felt I would become an engineer, because you end up doing a lot of mechanical things with equipment and that sort of thing at an early age.
Jim took that love of engineering and used it to help build a company that would influence the fortunes of not just a province, but a nation.
What he's done in the oil sands has impacted the entire country in a very positive way. He's taken a resource, and by resource I mean it was sort of non-producible, into a producible entity.
I think the exciting thing for me in all of that at the end of the day was being involved in such an endeavor that had such an impact on Canada.
I think Jim's vision was for a socially responsible, progressive, efficient industry that was serving the needs of Canadians.
They are talking about Jim's 28-year career with Syncrude in Alberta. Like many in the industry, Jim's passion for mining engineering was motivated by a job as a teenager. He was with Noranda in Manitowoc, Ontario. He returned to Dalhousie University to obtain his degree, after which he secured a job with the Iron Ore Company of Canada in Labrador City.
Now, I spent about a year and a half with IOC, and then I ended up coming out to Alberta in 1974. And went to Grand Cache and was involved in the coal mine there. And from there, found my way into Syncrude and into Fort McMurray and the oil sands.
Jim started at Syncrude working with the truck and shovel fleet and worked his way up to president and COO, a position he held for 10 years before retiring in 2007.
He's been in the oil sands a long time and essentially helped developed all of the technology in surface mining that's enabled it to become what it is today.
One of those technologies was the hydro-transport system, which allows the ore to be crushed and transported through a pipeline.
We pieced together the original prototype using old tailings pipe and some old pieces that we had, an old Stamler feeder breaker that we used to crush the ore. And within a very short time of starting up the operation, after about 12 months of building this prototype, we knew we had a winner because we were able to pump about 5,000 tons an hour through an 18-inch pipeline. And we were getting tremendous recovery at the other end, so we knew that we had the future development process for oil sand mining.
Jim was also key in encouraging his suppliers to push the limits on truck and bucket sizes. They started with 170-ton trucks and eventually moved up to 320-ton. But bigger shovels meant they needed bigger trucks.
They were working towards a shovel that would dig a 60 cubic yard bucketful, which would give us about 100 tons per pass, per bucketful. Caterpillar came on board. They had been very successful with their 240-ton trucks. And then agreed that they would build a 400-ton unit, which is the one that's pretty predominant in the mining industry, certainly in the oil sands these days.
Jim's contribution to the industry wasn't limited to technical expertise. He is also known for his strong leadership, not just within the company, but in the community and the industry. Jim played a big part in the development of the Mining Association of Canada's Towards Sustainable Mining program.
One of the key things about Jim was that he was always willing to share that Syncrude experience. Their relationships were excellent and leading edge, and as well as some of the other aspects of waste tailings management, risk communications and crisis issues, etc. Those management issues, as well as energy efficiency and greenhouse gas management.
The Towards Sustainable Mining program is now being adopted by other countries.
So this is an initiative now that's starting to get global recognition and certainly positions the Canadian mining industry in a very favorable light. And it all started because of Jim's work and some of his colleagues at the time.
Jim also has a strong commitment to education, as evident in his work on the board of Keano College in Fort McMurray, helping to develop a careers program encouraging work in the trades. He also helped save the mining education program at the University of Alberta, when in 1991 it was about to be shut down.
At the time there were only 3 or 4 students in the program, and the administration at the university had said, well look, we're going to cancel mining engineering because it's just not big enough.
They formed a committee to save and grow the program.
We focused primarily on good BSc graduates so that they could be there and available for the mining industry, and then we, of course, like all good university programs, evolved it into graduate work and research work. And today, the program, they're graduating 80 mining engineers a year. It's the largest program, one of the largest programs in the world.
Since retiring from Syncrude, Jim has joined the boards of several companies, but his legacy lives on in the oil sands.
Jim's reputation is stellar. He's sort of the person that everyone looks to and looks up to. You know, that's what I would like to become in the mining business.
It's really been an exciting journey, the whole thing. You know, over the years in the oil sands, it was a pretty tough business to be in. First of all, it was a brand new business. Nobody else had done it. You had to have lots of tenacity. We had lots of things that we had to learn, and things we tried that didn't work, and things that were supposed to work that didn't work, and you had to fix them on the fly, and you had to do all of that. So it wasn't for the faint of heart, ever.